edition of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are FC.
The Royals are 12 games above 500 after a 6-1 homestand against two of the best teams in baseball. Now, a 9-game road trip against 3 last-place teams begins tonight in Minnesota on Fox Sports Kansas City. Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And the road trip begins at Target Field in downtown Minneapolis with 4 games against the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. We are in the so-called dog days of the baseball season. So a long road trip this time of year can be both dangerous and grueling. However, on paper, this is a dream road trip for the Royals, as they will play 3 last-place teams, and 3 of those teams are without some of their star players, at least from the beginning of the season. And for most of the year, we've been talking about how the Royals have underachieved at home and overachieved on the road. The Royals have won 7 of their last 8 away from Kauffman Stadium, and they have the 4th best record in the major leagues on the road. And let's welcome in Rex Hudler. And if we're talking about a team that has really achieved on the road, let's talk about players who have achieved on the road, and begin with Danny Duffy.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to see this kid go out and perform and become the Danny Duffy that they always believed he could be, and he's been even better. Left-handers aren't hitting anything off him, and righties ain't hitting much better. But the road average that Danny's been carrying has been a solid strength for this ball club. And with him and Ventura, the 2 young guys, looks like they're the young and up-and-comers. I feel sorry for the Minnesota Twins tonight. If Duffy's on his game and can throw strikes, no one's going to hit him.
Minnesota's offense has improved since August the 1st, and they've done that without one of their biggest bats. And when we come back, Joe Goldberg talk about Josh Willingham's return in a Royals uniform.
30-plus years as a Minnesota Twin, and he led them with 61 home runs from 2012 through this year. And now he is a Royal, traded over to the division rival on Monday, and his team was on the road, so he went from Houston to Kansas City, and now he finds himself back here in the Twin Cities. Joel Goldberg back at Target Field. They just announced the Royals starting lineup, and Josh Willingham received a very nice warm ovation, as we expect he will when he comes to the plate again. But it has been a whirlwind for the slugger, who gets a chance to come back to Minnesota for baseball and a little personal business.
We were on a road trip when I got traded when I was with the Twins, and when I flew in, just hopped in my truck and went to my house in Minnesota, and that was kind of weird knowing that you're playing for the Royals. But, you know, coming to the ballpark today, I got to, you know, kind of talk to some of the guys, like Hot Rod and the clubhouse guys, and some of the security guys, and so and then walking to that other clubhouse was a little bit weird, yeah.
Willingham is in there in the lineup, and Ron Gardenhire said, we hated to lose him, but we wanted to give him a chance to play for a pennant. First pitch is next.
Chevy dealers, make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by ATT Uverse, find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Mississippi River, just a few blocks from here. The Royals are playing their final series of the year in Minneapolis, and they arrive in first place. Minnesota's in last place, 11.5 games back of the Royals. Tigers a half game back of KC, and if you're wondering, they are down 4-0 in the bottom of the third inning to the Seattle Mariners. Royals lineup presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. Josh Willingham, as Joel mentioned, got a nice ovation as he was introduced before the game. And Ned Yost had the opportunity yesterday to give Omar Infante the game off and Salvador Perez the game off, and they're both back in there tonight.
How about that? And the team didn't miss a beat. You got to sudden the depth on that bench is starting to be extremely productive for Ned. That's a beautiful thing.
Ricky Nolasco is back from the disabled list today. He went down on July the 8th with a right elbow problem. And this season has not worked out for him or the Twins in his first year with an ERA just under 6.
Yeah, but you know what, Ryan? It seems he's been finding a way against the Royals. He's had some pretty good games against them. Just a 3.2 ERA. 10 strikeouts and only 1 walk in those 3 starts. So he's pitched pretty well. And, you know, you can't take a guy like this lightly, nor can you take these last-place teams lightly. Defensively, we highlighted Kurt Suzuki because we like to show you the catching stealing percentage. And it hasn't been great, but Suzuki, he's been good, obviously. The team just gave him a 2-year contract a couple weeks ago. Overall, pretty good defensive team. Twins are at 67 errors. Kansas City with 65.
Our umpiring crew, Field and Colbreth, in his 18th year as a full-time umpire, is the crew chief. David Rackley in his first year as a full-time umpire will call the balls and strikes. Jim Reynolds at first base, and Chris Siegel is at third.
Now, Felton, you're looking at him. Do you see him stretching? All these guys take pretty good care of themselves. Now, you may not agree with that by looking at them, but these guys, they train. There's a program all fit out for these umpires. Believe me, they got to stay in shape on the field, too.
Nori Aoki. And the Royals will try and get to Nolasco early. And Nolasco's had a lot of problems this year in the first 2 innings. Nori has hit in 5 straight. He hit .444 during the homestand.
Talk about being recharged. Nori Aoki, he's playing right now on both sides of the ball like they've expected him to. Another hard hit ball.
Dozier throws him out, 1 down.
I saw Aoki hitting the ball in the seats in batting practice today. He's got extreme confidence now.
This is the first of 4 years for Nolasco with Minnesota. And when he went on the DL, the Twins learned that his elbow had been bothering him for most of the year. But as he put it, he didn't want to be one of those guys who got the big contract and then complained about an injury in the first season. He got a chance to let that elbow heal for about a month. 0-1 on Omar Infante.
Well, I can tell you, Gardenhire is sure hopeful that he can come back and at least help them the rest of the way. But the numbers aren't really pretty for Nolasco. Infante's numbers we just showed you weren't too bad, but righties are hitting .310 with 8 homers. Lefties .351 with 8 homers. So overall, that's a .330 average against. Teams have been hitting him. He's not overpowering. 88-91, sinks his fastball. He's got a couple of different breaking balls. One's kind of a loopy curve. The other one kind of slurvy, a little bit tighter. And then his out pitch is his split finger. It's a really good pitch for him.
Omar, with his days in the National League, has the most at-bats of any Royal against Nolasco. Hit it off the end of the bat. And once again, Dozier, he'll bring it down for the second out. Salvador Perez, who is one of the best in history hitting here at Target Field. And in our AT&T U-verse rewind, the last time the Royals were here in August was last year, and Sal had a 2-home run game. And his batting average at Target Field is .354. Only Alex Rios has a better batting average in this ballpark for an opposing player.
Nolasco's had some trouble in the first inning this year, but so far he's got a couple of outs with no problem.
Long run to the line for Arcia, and it's back into the first row. 0-2 on Sal.
Just ran out of room. We got there, but nice padded walls to help you and keep you from getting hurt. Salvi just 1 for 9 in his career off Nolasco.
And that stroke well to center field. So 3 up, 3 down, but 2 hard hit balls for the Royals off of Nolasco, who needed just 9 pitches. The Royals begin a 4-game series here in Minnesota. The Royals were swept here in April and then won 2 out of 3 last month. Danny Duffy, our Kia starting pitcher for tonight. 2-0 here at Target Field. He has faced the Twins 4 times this year, 2 starts, and they have hit 154 against him.
Yeah, opponents aren't doing a whole lot off of him at all. He's been solid with 198 average against. Really special. Lefties 138, righties 213 with 9 home runs.
Ron Gardenhire's batting order: no Josh Willingham. Jordan Schaefer is now playing in left field, and Kenny Vargas is the DH. We'll keep an eye on him. He's a bright light in the Twins farm system and was called up at the end of July. And this is Danny Santana, the Twins shortstop of the future, who's playing in center field, because Ron Gardner, as he put it, said, "I'd like to play him at shortstop, but I don't have anybody to play center field." One hop back to Duffy, and Santana is out, number 1.
It's amazing considering how many center fielders were here the last 2 years. Defensively, Aoki, he's not only doing it with a bat, he's been smoking hot in the outfield, taking good routes, hitting cutoff men. He's got 5 outfield assists. He's doing a heck of a job out there.
Dozier's after the first pitch. So the Twins are swinging aggressively, not wanting to fall behind in the count, and with 3 pitches, Duffy has 2 outs.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I was just going to say Duffy's fastball is averaging around 93.4 miles per hour. That's his average, but he'll fluctuate and go from 90 to 97 at times. He can add and subtract. Nice curveballs, gets them over, backdoor, changeup. He's got that too, but he hasn't used it quite as often because he hasn't needed to.
Fastball by him, 5 pitches, all strikes. 0-2 on Mauer. He was injured when we were here at the end of July. Strained his right oblique. Or make that early July. We were here in early July. And he went on the disabled list on July 2nd. Six pitches, all strikes, 3 up, 3 down. No score at the end of 1 in Minneapolis. Royals fans at Target Field, and we have a 4-game wraparound series which will end on Monday night. Remember to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during tonight's game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Love the fans' participation. Got a chance to fly up today instead of being with the team yesterday, Rhino, and a lot of Royals fans on that airplane. You could feel their energy.
Billy Butler with a home run and 6 RBIs during the 7-game homestand. Up to 50 RBIs on the year. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Some of the success that Nolasco's had in his previous 3 starts against the Royals have really been because of that breaking ball. He's been able to change speeds with it, keep it out of the hitting zone. It's got a nice little downward break to it, and to go along with that split finger, it's causing some fits with him. Now, you want to get him early, no doubt about it. But he got some outs, but they were hit hard. He's going to give you something good to hit.
Three and one on Billy. Alex Gordon on deck, followed by Josh Willingham. And a leadoff walk. Of all the things that have gone wrong for Ricky Nolasco, he remains a strike thrower. Minnesota Twins for years have been a strike throwing pitching staff, and once again they have the fewest walks in the American League.
There you go. He's going to try to mix them best he can, but because he doesn't have the stuff, the velocity, that's why he's getting hit around.
Just foul off the right field line. 0-1 to Alex.
If you don't have velocity, you better be good with your location. That lady is pumped. That's right.
278 overall for Alex. 348 on the homestand with a couple of home runs. Well, she should be excited.
That's beautiful.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Alex 2 for 9 against Alaska.
Two and 1. He was an all-star again this year, hitting .268 in the first half and well over .300 in the second half, with 3 of his 12 home runs, 2 of those on the last homestand. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Velasco going to throw some 4-seamers up there tonight. That's because he likes to set up his curveball with that. It comes almost out of the same eye level as the curve, the fastball. So, you know, he's going to stay up there with and hope to have some success and go to that one there.
Nice easy swing, and with 2 strikes, Alex drives it into left center field. Billy holds at second, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
Just like you said it, Ryan. Look at this swing. Breaking ball outside corner. He just is able to catch himself for a split second, hold himself, and then just guide it out there, almost like Aoki does. He's able to recognize the pitch, and it was up.
Nice warm ovation for Willingham as he returns to Target Field as a member of the Royals. Velasco misses outside, ball 1. So former teammates, but they saw one another in the National League. Willingham was 4 out of 10 against Velasco with a couple of doubles. One and 1. Willingham got a lucrative 3-year deal to sign with Minnesota, and that paid off right away in 2012. 35 home runs, 110 RBIs. He also had 25 doubles. He had knee surgery last year, so the numbers dropped, and he's been bothered by a bad left wrist this year. But that looked like a great deal his first season in Minnesota, hitting home runs in a ballpark that is not friendly to home run hitters.
No, but by all the reports from the medical staff of the Royals, his wrist is fine. This ballpark doesn't matter. The fact that he's added some teeth in that lineup is what Ned Yost is happy about. Now, Gardenhire knows all about him. Said he's happy for Willingham to get with a team that's in a pennant race. Hasn't been there before like that.
Got him with a hard slider. Velasco strikes out his first, and that's out number 1.
Told you about how he changes arm angles also, and he changes depth on his breaking pitches. There's a little tighter breaking ball, doesn't break as much, and the one that Alex hit to left center was a rolling curve. So he uses that little spinner, the shorter break ball, to try to get exactly what he got there, a strikeout.
Mike Moustakas with Butler at second and Gordon at first. Below the knees for ball 1. As the Royals have improved significantly with runners in scoring position, Mike Moustakas has been part of that. That's a little bit outside. 2-0.
273 the team is hitting now with runners in scoring positions. Moose is the only guy in the lineup with a homer off of Velasco. 2 for 7.
Baltimore. He'll go to second. So heads up, as his instinct was to go to first, but he wouldn't have gotten Gordon, and the Twins still get a double play. Recent offensive addition will have the largest impact down the stretch. Christian Colon, Raul Ibanez, Eric Kratz. Colon and Kratz had big games yesterday. Or Josh Willingham. Text A, B, C, or D to 432-432. And by entering, you'll get a bounce back text message, which will give you a chance to register for the Sprint Suite at Kauffman Stadium. Kenny Vargas, our first look at him, and Duffy shatters his bat. It's still carried out into shallow center field, and if not for that shift, that would have been a broken bat base hit for Vargas. So that's 4 outs on 7 pitches for Danny Duffy.
So obviously, hitting coach of the Twins, Tom Bernansky, has these guys looking fastball early in the count. They are coming out hacking off Duffy, and really, that's perfect for Danny Duffy. He has the power to get by these guys. He wants to challenge guys. He wants to go right after him. Or maybe the Twins are playing into Danny's hand.
Ball 1 to Trevor Plouffe. That's the first pitch out of the strike zone from Duffy. When Danny pitched on Sunday against the Giants, he had an 11-pitch all strikes first inning, and better than that tonight, 6 pitches all strikes in the first, and now he's 2-0 against Plouffe. So we know that Danny is better all around with his game, but when he was struggling as a younger pitcher, it would come very early. At times it might take him an inning or two to find his arm slot, to settle down, start throwing strikes. A big change for him as he's been coming out of the gate throwing one strike after another.
That's right. Settling down is the biggest thing you said there. That's been biggest for him.
So I guess now he's settling down in the bullpen instead of on the mound in the second inning.
Exactly. And you know, young guys that have a power arm like that, when they first get to the big leagues, they want to blow it by hitters. That's a tendency that most of them have. But you know, he's evolved, and we've seen it. It is perfect timing for it. And as contagious as the complete games have been going with this Royals team, they keep swinging early, and he gets early count outs. He might have a chance to go all 9.
Again, getting in on the hands. And Alex makes a play. 2 down in the second inning. Toyota League leaders for tonight. So we've been talking a lot about Royals playing well on the road. They have won 7 of their last 8 away from Kauffman Stadium, and they have the 4th best record in the major leagues on the road, with pitching leading the way.
They've been good most of the year on the road. It was at home that there was a little concern. But I don't think so now after that last outstanding homestand. Gave him a good home record now, 33-28.
Kurt Suzuki's name had been thrown around as a possible trade candidate, but as Hud said in the first inning, not only did Minnesota not trade him, but almost symbolic of not trading him, during the trading deadline they signed him to a 2-year extension. Been very popular in the clubhouse. The Twins love the way he handles their pitching staff.
And that's another reason why players like to hear their names around that trade deadline. It brings attention, attraction, and now teams got to go, wow, what are we going to do with this guy? He's popular. There's other teams out there that want him. That's when a lot of teams make decisions on guys.
Almost driving in a run per game against the Royals this year. He had one of the more memorable hits against the Royals this year. Memorable in that, as a pinch hitter at Kauffman Stadium last month, he ended that long streak of innings where Wade Davis had not allowed an extra base hit.
It's curveball.
Hit hard to left field, and Alex will have to run it down at the wall. Suzuki will turn. Alex's throw is cut off. It was a little bit offline. Well, Suzuki does it to the Royals again. He's at second base with 2 outs.
You would see he worked the count. He waited for a pitch. He waited him out. Most of his teammates up to this at bat here have all been hacking early in the count, but he waited him out, got a pitch, and was quick on it. Alex, great job off the wall, but Suzuki was able to get a good jump out of the box, no problem.
And now left-hand hitting Oswaldo Arcia. While Sal and Danny chat very briefly, we remind you to reserve your spot in the best kids club in Major League Baseball, Sluggers Blue Crew. And for just $25, kids receive a limited edition t-shirt, cap, 2 free tickets, a free stadium tour, free passes to the outfield experience, and much more for $25. It's a $100 value. Royals.com/Blue Crew.
Whatever time's left in the season's not a lot. Folks want to bring your kids out. Let them feel the energy of that crowd at the K. And watch a very solid baseball team.
Sal immediately looked at the ball, so maybe he didn't get the grip that he wanted to throw down to second base.
Salvi loves to throw. You're right, Ryan. He couldn't get a grip. Loves to show that arm off.
Curveball hangs high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good fastball away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Arcia had a little baby boy when the Twins were in Kansas City last month, missed one of the games as he was with his wife.
He's got some pop. They're trying to develop some home run hitters now that they're out of the race.
Danny strikes him out. That's his first strikeout, and the Twins leave Suzuki at second base. No score at the end of 2 in Minneapolis. Is brought to you by Panera, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. Good starts for Nolasco and Duffy. Alcides Escobar after the first pitch, and Joe Mauer, as if he was blocking a pitch in the dirt as a catcher, got in front of that one and goes to the bag to get Escobar.
You ask Mauer, he'll tell you he may not be having quite as much fun playing first base as catcher, but you sure don't miss those dings, those foul tips, and all those balls that you're trying to block at mid-90s fastballs. That move was made for his health.
Gerard Dyson yesterday experienced the lowest of lows and the highest of highs in the final game with the A's, losing a ball in the sun which allowed Oakland to take the lead. That's hit well into right center field. Arcia has a long run, and Arcia won't get there, and Dyson is on his way to third. Gerard Dyson with a 1-out triple.
Happy birthday, Gerard Dyson. On his 30th birthday, hits him a 3-bagger. Start the game, stay hot. Inner half of the plate. He's used to staying on top of the ball with the adjustments he's made to use his speed, but he's able to catch that one nicely. Arcia couldn't hit it cleanly, or couldn't catch it cleanly off the wall. And Dyson says, I got that easy.
And now Minnesota brings the infield in for Nori Aoki. So he lost the ball in the sun yesterday, Dyson, but then he made up for it with a big hit in the Royals' 5-run 7th inning. 50th round pick of the Royals back in 2006.
Can you believe it? That kind of production they're getting out of the last pick, that's really good. And, you know, basically Dyson deserves the credit for as hard as he's been working. Aoki, 8 for his last 10 with runners in scoring position this month. Wants to get up underneath one or slap it through, find a hole.
3-0. Nori grounded sharply to Dozier at second base to begin the game. Taking all the way, 3-1. And we were talking last inning about the Royals improving with runners in scoring position. Well, since the break, nobody has been better in the major leagues with runners in scoring position. And that last column there may be most important. They're not only getting hits, but they're hitting for power with runners in scoring position. And that's called a strike, and now 3-2 on Aoki.
There's no doubt about it. When you have pitching and defense, the other category is the timely hits. When you're getting all three of those at the same time, you're seeing what the Royals have been doing, not just over a short period of time since July 22nd. They've been extremely consistent in all three of those areas. Got to get Dyson home.
He did swing. Nori doesn't believe it. But Nolasco going with a hard breaking ball on 3-2 gets a big strikeout. Call made by third base umpire Chris Siegel.
There's the big breaking ball again, and there was no doubt. He looked like he attempted to swing there. He tried to sell it. Nolasco got him off the plate.
So it's up to Omar Infante as the infield moves back. And that breaking ball is in for a strike. Omar popped up to the second baseman Dozier in the first inning.
That little slider there that's been starting at a few of the hitters, that's a home run pitch. Starts right at you, has a small break in. Willingham got one. He didn't swing at it, and Infante just got that one there. But what you do is you just keep that in your memory bank, and you wait till you see that pitch again coming at your hip, and it breaks right over the plate. That's the one you go ahead and turn on. Early in the game like this, you kind of want to feel that pitcher out, see what kind of pitches he's got. There's not an urgency to swing at anything at this particular time, but you're measuring him.
Shallow center field, and Santana is there to make the plays. The Royals are not able to turn Dyson's one-out triple into a run. He is stranded at third base. No score.
Indianapolis. Our Mazda game break takes us to Detroit. Would you believe that 4 different Royals have more homers this year than Robinson Cano? That's just his 11th on the year, but he is batting .331 right now. And the Tigers are crushing Rick Porcello. 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them are earned. Also on our Mazda game break, the news from yesterday that Rob Manfred has been named the next commissioner of Major League Baseball, as he will replace Bud Selig upon Selig's retirement in January. And I think that move has been fairly well received, because when you talk about labor peace in the world of baseball over the last 20 years, it has been Manfred that has been involved in most of those negotiations. So I think a positive sign going forward for Major League Baseball. And guys, one other thing on that Tigers score there. Detroit loses tonight. I know we got a long ways to go. They're not just chasing the Royals. They're then chasing the Mariners for the last wild card spot. A Seattle win would put them a half a game above Detroit for the second wild card spot.
Wow. Big series there. But you know, Joe, you can only hope that the game will continue to thrive with a new commissioner. But he's got tough shoes to fill. Bud had a pretty good run.
You know, what's interesting on that, and Ryan, you've been in this game a long time calling games, but it just seemed like, you know, in the early years, so much criticism of Bud Selig. And of course, there was a labor stoppage in 1994 on his watch, and it was a black eye on baseball. And you had the steroid era and so many of the things that have gone on, but there's been so much change under his watch. You don't hear as much negativity regarding Bud Selig. The game's as going as well as it's ever gone.
Took him a while to get over that early part of his being a commissioner. A World Series was wiped out at the beginning of the 1995 season. Started in a strike, and when the two sides came together, they never really resolved anything. There was nothing really significant in that collective bargaining agreement, so it just seemed like a big waste of time. And there were a lot of markets that really suffered after the strike. Fans didn't go back. Montreal was never the same. Toronto has never been the same. Kansas City was affected because the Royals were one of the best teams in baseball in 1994, and it wiped out their chances of going to the postseason. They had a long winning streak right before that. It took him quite a while to shake that off, because he was the commissioner that was responsible for pulling the plug on the 1994 season and wiping out the World Series. Tony Gwynn had a chance to hit 400.
Yeah, and that's the ugly part of the business of baseball right there. Hopefully they'll continue the labor peace.
I think, though, guys, when you talk about the greatest achievements, and I personally have never been a fan of the All-Star game, deciding who has home field advantage. Didn't like that one. But the wild card, interleague play, a lot of parts of the game now that are just ordinary everyday life were foreign concepts way back when.
How about the drug testing program that's in place now? If there was one other black eye besides that, it was the fact that Major League Baseball turned their head on the PED users, but he's brought the game around since then. They've made some adjustments, made corrections. They're trying to police that now.
Well, and I give the Players Association, the union, a lot of credit for that too, because for years that was part of the negotiation. We don't want to give anything up, and it really took a lot of big name players stepping forward saying we want our game clean, and we're willing to concede that. We're willing to go that direction. So when you talk about the harmony and everybody working together on both sides, which was unthinkable years ago. And when you look at the other sports, all of which have had labor stoppages in recent years here, they've really been able to get together and at least make it a more clean game than it was for a number of decades.
1-1 on Jordan Schaefer. One of 3 left-hand batters in there against Danny Duffy tonight. This is his first career at bat against Duffy.
Eduardo Escobar, he put a good at bat on Duffy just then. Got off some pitches, got on base.
Moustakas stayed back on a breaking ball and lined it to left field, and Minnesota has 2 on with nobody out.
Jordan Schaefer. He's a guy that's an action type player. Didn't even stride there. Nice piece of hitting it. He didn't even stride. He just kind of lifted up his heel, and that was it. He was able to recognize the pitch. But he's a guy who can really run. He's a guy that's an aggressive type base runner, a fielder. He crashes and burns.
He has been with the Twins for 8 games, and he already has 6 stolen bases. Once upon a time, the #1 prospect in the Atlanta Braves organization, Jordan Schaefer. Royals are getting ready for a bunt as Santana comes up with 2 on, nobody out. Santana grounded back to Duffy in the first inning.
He's an excellent bunter. And that move was done right there just to see if he could square around, and he did. That gives the defense a little heads up. Pitchers will do that in a bunting situation. Santana just wants to advance those runners. He's got really good speed. He's another action player.
0-1.
So Gardenhire is trying to redo his team now that they're out of it. He's looking for a few more power hitters. A couple of young guys are given a chance. But you put this Danny Santana guy in there, he's been electric. And you put Schaefer down at the bottom, there's some speed now. And Dozier, you put him in the second spot. There's 3 guys there that can run. So they're going to try to vamp up their running game, because they've got a few guys in there that can do some things.
What a bunt. Danny throws it up the right field line. Aoki throws to second. That's high. Alex Gordon positioned himself perfectly just in case, and that prevented another run. Minnesota takes a 1-0 lead, and another error on a Royals pitcher this year.
Great touch on the bunt by Santana. That was a beauty. He had some backspin on the ball, so it deadened. And really, Duffy's a competitor, but this is a ball that you want to put in your pocket right here. I mean, if he makes an accurate throw, he gets him. But sometimes that happens when you rush your throw. Aoki, ball almost took a bad hop on him, and then he overthrows, but look at the trusty Alex Gordon right there, backing up.
Those 2 outfielders positioned perfectly for potential overthrows.
Love that.
So it's a sacrifice error 1, allowing Santana to reach, allowing Escobar to score, and allowing Schaefer to go to third.
Composure time. Execute your pitches.
To Escobar, and that's the first out of the inning. Schaefer scores, so Dozier gets an RBI, and Minnesota leads 2-0.
A lesser runner than Escobar, he might have come home on that. Again, Dozier, first ball swinging both times up tonight. Something Salvi will have to make some note of with runners in scoring position. Mixing up those first pitches to these guys. Don't just give them that fastball every time in there.
Strike to Mauer. He flied out to left field in the first inning. Mauer has a 15-game hitting streak, and in the middle of that was his stay on the disabled list. And 15 games is 1 shy of his career high. Slide step, and 1 ball, 1 strike. So it's interesting the Twins are swinging early in the count, because when they faced Duffy at Kauffman Stadium at the end of July, they walked 6 times. Minnesota's a patient team. They see a lot of pitches. But on the flip side of that, none of those 6 walks turned into runs.
Well, and that's almost a miracle.
1-2 on Mauer. Only the Boston Red Sox have seen more pitches, have had longer plate appearances than the Minnesota Twins.
The Twins are 3rd in the American League in walks.
Hit to left field. Alex hardly has to move. Santana is not tagging. Second time that Mauer is flied to right, or left rather, and there are 2 down. Coming up on Saturday, August 30th, help us celebrate Retro Night at Kauffman Stadium. The event will feature appearances from alumni from the 1974 Royals, retro uniforms worn by both the Royals and the Indians, a themed pregame concert, a live organist playing throughout the game, and much more special entertainment. And the first 10,000 fans receive a limited edition Mr. Royal bobblehead. Kenny Vargas takes outside for ball 1. He had a soft liner to Infante in the second inning.
Vargas has got extreme power.
One and one.
He's a switch hitter. Does he remind you of anybody just looking at him from this side of the plate? Actually, the guy I'm thinking about is a left-handed hitter, but with that wristband like there, different color, big red color.
David Ortiz.
Big Poppy. That kid, David has taken this kid under his wing.
Two and one. Pretty good on both sides of the plate. He had just been called up from the minor leagues when Minnesota was in Kansas City at the end of August, but he didn't play. He made his debut the next night, and his first hit was a 2-run double against Chris Sale. 3 balls, 1 strike.
He's got some pretty good plate discipline as well.
Infante retires Vargas for the second time. Minnesota with an unearned run, and they score 2 to take the lead. the 4th inning. If you're looking to attend the Kansas City Irish Fest, well, starting at just $20, you'll receive a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins at Kauffman Stadium on August 27th, and also get a free single-day admission to the Kansas City Irish Fest going on that same weekend. Royals.com/Irish Fest. Ball 1 to Sal. He lined out to Santana in center field in the 1st inning.
Duffy's received 18 runs of support in his 2 starts in August. So far this month, he's going to need some more.
There's a good start as Sal gets it in between Plouffe and the line. And now the ball bounces off the sidewall as Schaefer was hoping to make a throw to second base. And Sal's into second with a leadoff double.
Another Royal hitter with 20 or more doubles. That's 6 guys in that lineup with over 20. Perfect. Top spin, second bounces through. They've hit Nolasco pretty hard. They haven't had any opportunities yet, but they'll get to him. They just need a big hit over the wall.
Billy led off the 2nd inning and walked, and then was part of a double play. To the right side and through the right side. Sal holds at third. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And how many times this year have the Royals come right back after the opponent scores? And that's what they're trying to do again here in the 4th inning.
We've seen it a lot. Billy, instead of thinking about juicing one over the wall, he just did his thing right there. All right, I'll find the hole. Maurer was playing him way over there and hit it just right. Now that's a pitch that he could have tried to turn on there, but he knew the situation with nobody out. He's playing situational ball. He said, you know what? I'm going to move him over. Take a shot over there. Now let Alex do the run production.
Alex singled his first time up. He is 4th best in the American League, hitting with runners in scoring position. Batting average is about 50 points better when he comes up with runners in scoring position. That was ruled a swing by 3rd base umpire Chris Siegel to even the count at 1-1.
And that's the sign of a money man. He hits better with runners out there. That's what they got him for. They moved him in that power slot before the season even started. And look what they're getting from him.
Up and in, and it's 1-2. Ricky Nolasco is the worst pitcher in the major leagues with 2 strikes. Normally the pitcher should have an advantage. But the league hits .258 against him with 2 strikes. That's the worst in baseball.
Ouch.
And there you go. He didn't give up a base hit, but he hit Alex with 2 strikes. And that loads the bases with nobody out.
That's the 8th time Alex has been plunked this year. Nolasco didn't want to throw him a breaking ball out over the plate because last time up Alex raked it and hit right off that padding of the top foot on his right foot. Now's the right time for number 6.
Didn't get a grand slam, but he gets it down into the corner to tie the game at least.
Look at Alex.
Here he comes around third as Schaefer was slow to dig it out of the corner, and Josh Willingham in his first game here against the Twins hits a 3-run double.
You knew it was going to happen. Oh yeah. On our sprint question, If you haven't already sent your vote in, I know there's going to be some people voting for Willingham, because that ball was right out of the middle of the plate. He was ready for it. If he gets under it, he hits a salami, but he just drove it. Just like his first swing he took in a Royals uniform at home against Oakland, against Leicester.
And Mike Moustakas got a pitch up. He lined into a double play in the second inning.
Doesn't he make the middle of that lineup look even better?
Slow breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When Dayton acquired him, he said he's going to put him. He'll let Ned put him in the middle of the order somewhere. Putting Willingham in between Gordon and Moose. It's good. It mixes it up. Left, right, left.
That pitch had a ton of movement on it. Like a fastball inside. It was a changeup. So we'll see what Nolasco does here with the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 batters ago, he hit Alex with the count 1 and 2, setting up Willingham's 3-run double. That'll get the runner over, and Dozier will throw late. It's an infield hit for Moustakas, and Willingham goes to third.
There's your knock against the shift. Good placement. Guardy's probably saying, you know what? How are we going to stop these guys? Moose recognized the breaking ball, and he said, you know what? With 2 strikes on me, I'm going to try to put it in play to the right side, at least move the runner over. So what the Royals are doing during this nice little stretch of championship-style baseball is they're becoming more aware of situational hitting. You could see Moose's eyes when that pitch was on the way say, well, I'm not going to take a big swing. I'm just going to try to move him over with nobody out. Every guy does his part, and not one guy are they counting on to drive the bus. Multiple bus drivers have emerged here in Kansas City. That means guys that come up, drive in some runs, and get the job done.
One and 1 to Escobar. He grounded out to Maurer at first base in the 3rd inning. The first 5 have reached. Danny Duffy again hoping for a big run support start. That's hit well into right center field, and Santana took a bad route.
It's off to the races.
2 more runs will score, and Escobar is on his way to third. He has a 2-run stand-up triple, and the Royals have answered Minnesota with 5 runs in the 4th inning.
The frenzy hitting has broken out in game 1. Packed up their home series as they were dominant at home. That little breaking ball that stayed out over the plate, Esky hit it, and he hit it good. Santana, not a typical center fielder. He's learning the position. Thought he could catch it instead of taking a route to cut it off. He went for the catch, and it didn't work. Willingham got it all started with that big hit. Frenzy hitting.
So 6 in a row have reached, and there's a runner at third with nobody out. This is Nolasco's 19th start, and in 8 of his 19 starts he's given up 5 or more runs.
By the way the Royals were swinging on him the first 3 innings, you could tell they were on him. They just didn't have any luck. It's a matter of time before it happened.
Dyson tripled when he batted with one out in the third inning. The Royals stranded him at third. Once again, Minnesota has the infield in. Dyson grounds it to Mauer. They'll just wait for Dyson and tag him out. So it takes 7 batters for Minnesota to get the first out of the inning. And Samuel Deduno is already warming up in the bullpen. Royals are exactly 40 games above 500 this year when they score 5 or more runs. 44-4. Aoki has a chance to redeem himself. In the third inning with Dyson at third and one out, he struck out and now has Escobar at third with one out and the infield in. It's going to be a long run for 3 Twins and none will get there. It's 0-1 on Aoki.
And had one of those 3 Twins caught that ball, Escobar would have come home. He was sitting on third waiting to tag. Tough chance for a guy going away from the field trying to catch the ball and throw him out at home. He was waiting. Aoki wants a better pitch and he wants to do something better with that ball. He wants to drive it.
When the Royals took the series from Minnesota in Kansas City at the end of July, that statistic there, runners in scoring position, was a huge item. Minnesota had runners all over the place in that series, and Royals pitchers came through time and time again with men on. They are hitless tonight, the Twins are, and the Royals are 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Very shallow, and Schaefer will make the play. Escobar is trying to force a throw. So again, Aoki doesn't get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. And Omar Infante comes up. He's the 9th man to hit in the inning. Don't forget, Jayhawk fans, KU Day is on Sunday, August 31st. The Royals will be hosting the Indians, and the first 2,000 fans who bring their KU Day ticket to the table inside Gate B will receive a limited edition. There it is, crimson and blue Royals cap, courtesy of Rally House and Fox Sports Kansas City. Remember that game time has been changed. It'll be the Sunday night game of the week. So instead of 1:10 as it says on your schedule, it is now 7:10 on Sunday, August 31st, as the Royals are getting some national exposure.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hit hard out to the shortstop Escobar. The Royals lead their Escobar at third, but they come up with 5. The first 6 reach. Willingham drives in 3 with 1 swing. Escobar 2.
The hunt for Blue October is
Baseball is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. And they've had a very mild summer here like we have. Great night for a little cruise on one of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes. Josh Willingham back here for the first time since the trade, punishes the Twins with a 3-run double, which was the beginning of a 5-run fourth. Danny Duffy, who just gave up 2 runs in the 3rd inning, now has a 3-run lead as he gets Trevor Plouffe, Kurt Suzuki, and Oswaldo Arcia. Danny Duffy in 8 starts as Plouffe goes into deep left center field. And that will stay in the ballpark. Trevor Plouffe cruises into second base for the double. Danny Duffy had a stretch where he had the worst run support in the major leagues. 8 total runs over 8 starts. So the Royals were giving him an average of 1 run per start. But now in his last 3, the offense is really making up for it. And this includes tonight 23 runs in his last 3 starts.
Yeah. And I could probably just hear Danny thinking to himself in the dugout as he watched those 5 runs cross in the top of the 4th. He's probably saying, "Ah, what a team. Way to go, guys. Way to give me a little breathing room here." But that last meeting when Salvador just went out and talked to him, we were talking about mixing the pitches up, I'm sure. Because Minnesota, they are keen on that fastball tonight.
Inside to Suzuki, ball 1. Suzuki doubled his first time up. Sal and Danny, they go way back. Signed with the Royals organization about the same time. They were in rookie ball and Surprise the same year, 2007. So they've known each other for a long time. I remember asking Sal what he remembered about Danny Duffy way back in 2007, and he had to think for a while, and he said, "I remember the fastball because he threw hard, still throws hard, but for an 18-year-old coming out of high school in the 3rd round of 2007, that was the pitch that really stood out for him, and for a while that was his only pitch." Suzuki goes up the right field line. Plouffe will be held at 3rd as Aoki would have thrown him out. Well, a good call by 3rd base coach Scott Olger. And the Twins have runners at 1st and 3rd with nobody out. Suzuki's 2 for 2.
Ooh, man, and he picked on a nice breaking ball too. Good piece of hit there. Salvi, he wants it in. No, that was a fastball. It looked like to me it was a breaking ball. Heater, but it was on the outer half of the plate. The way he waited on it, it almost looked like an off-speed pitch. It's good effort by Plouffe coming around 3rd. Let the 3rd base coach stop you. If you slow down before you get to 3rd, he can't send you home.
Arcia struck out swinging at a fastball in the 2nd inning. Duffy's only strikeout so far. Down to 3rd. Didn't get him. Very close. Moustakas not only looks into the Royals dugout, he points to the Royals dugout.
You can see Salvi starting to shuffle his feet right now. Look at that. 1 foot, just 1 step. Great throw.
Well, it looked like the tag was there, but did he make contact with Plouffe's arm?
That angle there, it looked like he might have missed his arm. Nope. I'm sure we'll find another angle.
Well, Chris Siegel, he was right there. He was in very good position. And if I could read his lips, I thought I saw him say, "No, missed." Now here's a better angle.
I don't know. That's harder because you can't tell if he, but the ball definitely beat him to the bag. It's all about the throw, the location. Where is it? Does it make it convenient for the third baseman, the second baseman, first baseman to apply the tag? It's got to be a ball that's right around that bag. And Moose and Salvi, and they go back almost as far as Duffy and Salvi that you were talking about. You know, these guys all know each other from the minor leagues. That's another important thing about having homegrown talent. These young Royals have grown up together in the minors, and now they're here in the majors, and they're ready to bloom.
See if you can read the umpire's lips here. I thought I saw him say missed. No, missed. As in M-I-S-S-E-D. As he was shaking his head as if to say, yeah, I know your glove was there, but you missed. I personally have not seen a replay that shows that he clearly tagged him before he got to the bag. It sure looks like if he did miss him, it was by less than an inch. I mean, the glove was right there. The throw was right there.
That's what replays are all about. Getting it right.
And this would be a huge out for the Royals and a demoralizing out for the Twins. They're down by 3. They get runners at first and third with nobody out. And if this goes the Royals' way, you got a runner at first with 1 out. The tying run is no longer at the plate, and a double play can get the Royals out of the inning.
Well, Plouffe has no business coming down the line that far anyway. He's not going anywhere.
Taking a long time, and now finally the headsets are coming off, and Trevor Plouffe is safe.
Ned is 19 and 11 in challenges. 19 right, 11 wrong. Not too bad.
The call stands. 1-2, which really doesn't change the game, but what it means, and this is why it took so long to make a decision, that means the umpires in New York didn't see anything clear and convincing to prove that the umpire was right or wrong, so you always defer to what the call was on the field. So they were seeing what we were seeing. And the Royals will still get a double play out of it. And that was a close play at first base. Minnesota gets a run, but the Royals at this point will trade 2 outs for a run. Now what will Ron Gardenhire do? He takes a step outside of his dugout.
Well, that was an excellent feed by Infante. In order to backhand flip it like that, you got to really get some momentum on it. Now, by moving your lower body, look at him how he's leaning that way. Gets rid of it quickly and it's firm. If there's any air underneath it, there's no way you're going to get him. Out. Don't do it. Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah, I read an article today with Rob Manfred taking over as commissioner. So they won't challenge. It's a double play. No RBI for Arce as Plouffe comes home to score. And with the new commissioner, of course, everyone has their wish list now of things that could be improved in the game. And one of them, or many of the articles, I should say, have suggested that they improve the replay system in that maybe you have a replay umpire here at the ballpark, because both the Royals, Bill Duplessis, and the Twins, Sean Harlan, both have video coordinators here, or replay coordinators here. So why can't you have an umpire coordinator here who has some sort of communication with the umpires on the field, and they could be looking at it, and if there's a call in question, they could alert the umpires on the field instead of what happened right there. Ron Gardenhire just kind of ambles out there and waits and waits.
And that's a great idea, Ryan, and I'm sure that they will make improvements. Before the season even started this year, Major League Baseball held a seminar out in Southern California. They invited all the technical people, production people, a few of the talent came, and it was a great seminar, and he talked about it's going to take us 3 years. They already figured it'd take them 3 years to get it where they wanted to get it. So not too bad this first year.
Three and one on Escobar. He singled and scored in the third inning. Dyson backs up in center field, and he makes the play. So Danny gives up a double and a single to begin the inning. The Minnesota Twins turn that into 1 run, and now the Royals lead is 2. At the K and looking at our upcoming homestand, which begins, if you look at your schedule, what should be an off day is a makeup game from a rainout back in June with the Yankees. That'll be the day that the Royals get a chance to pay tribute to Derek Jeter. That was washed out because of rain back on June the 9th. Minnesota Twins will be in town. We'll have Irish Heritage Night. So that's looking down the road. Looking to tomorrow, it's Yordano Ventura and Phil Hughes. 6:10 game tomorrow. A 1:10 game on Sunday, and then we have the rare 4-game wraparound series where we'll go from Sunday afternoon to Monday night, and the Royals head to Denver.
Look at that future Royal.
He is wide-eyed and into the game, isn't he?
He looks strong.
Salvi started last inning with a double, and that was the beginning of a 5-run 4th inning. And that double was his 20th. Academy Sports and Outdoors shows us 6 Royals with at least 20 doubles. That's the second most in the major leagues. And for a while, the Royals' leader in doubles and was among the league leaders in the American League, Alcides Escobar. It's been a while since he's had a double. He kind of set the tone in that category. Two and two as that ball gets through Suzuki.
And did you see Salvi go after that ball just then?
I did.
That's natural. That's energy that a lot of guys don't have this time of year. Most guys let it go. Just conserve the energy. Look at that guy. He's a big kid. He's just playing a baseball game.
Slow breaking ball. Nolasco strikes out his third. That brings up Billy Butler. He has walked, singled, and scored a run. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals. And you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Chopped to third. That ball stayed fair, and Plouffe straddling the bag throws out Billy. 2 down in the 5th inning.
In Nolasco now, he's getting the first 2 hitters here on those curveballs. Flipping those breaking balls up there early in the count, getting some hitters to bite on it. This is a big start for Nolasco coming in. A lot of pressure on him with the big contract he signed and being hurt. Now he's coming back. I mean, he's wanting to show them that they did not make a mistake on him.
He's had a good major league career. Most of that career spent with the Florida and the Miami Marlins. 1-1 on Alex. First drafted by the Cubs and then went to Florida in a deal for Juan Pierre when Nolasco was an unknown. And when he left the Marlins last year, traded to the Dodgers, he was their all-time leader in wins, in strikeouts. Twice he was an opening day starter. He has had 6 seasons with 10 or more wins, including a 15-win season. And that's why Minnesota gave him the big contract. They really needed starting pitching. Three and one on Alex.
Suzuki, he's putting down every pitch that Nolasco has. Before that last pitch, he was throwing all kinds of signs at Nolasco.
Caught by Maurer. That ball was hit hard. 3 up, 3 down to the bottom of the 5th. The Royals lead Minnesota 5-3. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And for the 5th season in Minneapolis, we play outdoors at beautiful Target Field. Hard to believe this is already year number 5. Up here in the booth, Ryan Lefevre along with Rex Hudler. And sneaking in through the back door is Joel Goldberg.
And we're seeing a shot there of Eric Hosmer.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Ryan.
Nice to see you.
I'm going to show you where this injury is, but on his hand, 3rd metacarpal. If you go all the way down right below the wrist, if you think about your fingers and the extension all the way down, that's where he has that crack. It's just a small little break, what they call a stress fracture, right about here. And Eric Hosmer right now is working extremely hard every single day on basically everything with his body to get him ready for his return, other than that hand and the wrist. But they are vigorously working him out every single day so that when he comes back, he is ready to go. He was hoping maybe he could start swinging a bat soon. They took an X-ray and CT scans yesterday, and while there is progress, they want to give it more time, and they'll take more pictures in 7 to 10 days, maybe when they get back home, and then hopefully he starts that process. But it's a small crack. They don't want to run the risk of it breaking any further, which could potentially lead to some surgery, and that obviously would have a lot of long-term effects. So just trying to let that heal. And as trainer Nick Kenny told me, when it comes to the hand and the bones in there, they heal at their own rate. There's nothing you can really do to speed this thing up. And so the other dilemma, and I mentioned his working out vigorously, his core, his agility, all the things that he can do, is that when he does return, presumably in September, the minor league seasons are going to be over. He's not going to have a place to go in rehab, so they want him as ready as possible as far as things they can work on. Obviously, that's not going to address timing with the hitting, but they're doing everything they can in their control.
It's amazing, Joel, this run the Royals are on right now, because all this happened as far as Eric going on the disabled list right around the trading deadline. He was hurt in that Boston series, but the Royals thought, you know, he'd have a game here or there to let the hand heal, but at first they thought he'd be able to play through it. Didn't work out for the Royals to make a deal to upgrade the offense at the break. Then they find out that Eric Hosmer goes on the disabled list, so that's another loss. And all the Royals have done is go 11-2 since then.
Right, and I think that one thing that has been helpful, and Hud, you can certainly address this, because when it happened, Raul Ibanez, who's a really nice leader on this team, has become one of the leaders, said, you know, it's going to be a loss for us, not just on the field, but from his leadership. He's Hosmer, one of the good young leaders on this team. But ever since that injury, he has traveled with the team. He is working out with the team. So his presence has been there every day. And then having a little bit of fun, too. You guys have been hearing about these ice bucket challenges for research and raising money for ALS. Well, there's Mike Moustakas dumping the ice bucket on Eric Hosmer and James Shields. Now, I've already done one of these with the family, so I guess I'm done. But we need big names, you know. We need big names to be able to do this, because that's really what's going to raise the awareness. And so tomorrow, Ryan, we're going to have a joint, apparently, ice bucket challenge between that guy, Bert Blyleven, and our guy, Rex Hudler.
Well, we've been challenged. So, you know, either you accept the challenge or you make the donation to ALS. Either way, we're raising awareness.
Last time we did something with the two of them, you were having him drill you with a pitch.
That's right.
In the hallway.
I asked him today if he's drilled any other broadcasters.
And shockingly, he said no.
Shockingly, no one else asked to be drilled.
That was an even bigger shock.
But that's going to be fun. Are you ready for it, Hud?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Anything for charity, and if it works, let's do it. It is working.
You bringing a change of clothes tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think I'll do well with a wet uni. Look at that. Sweet.
Duffy gets Minnesota 1-2-3. Schaefer, Santana, and Dozier. Game 1 in Minnesota, and at the end of 5, the Royals lead by 2.
Moose flashing the leather.
He lost, as far as a teammate goes, one of his best friends in the game and a mentor in Josh Willingham. They're guys that were teammates. They hang out in the offseason from a similar area. And so happy for his teammate, but upset that he lost him. And talking to Dozier today a little bit, he said all the things that we've learned. Great clubhouse guy, low maintenance, plays the game the right way. And I always find it interesting when you hear about the kids and the family members in this trade. Remember earlier in the week I was telling you about John Lester's son asked his now teammate with Oakland, Sean Doolittle, "Are you on the Red Sox?" So his young one didn't quite understand it. Well, the oldest of Willingham's 3 boys, and they're in for the weekend, Rhett, apparently has said that he wants to go hang out in the winning clubhouse after the game. He's going to hang out in the Royals clubhouse, but he said if the Twins win, he wants to go over there because they've got really good ice cream.
Take it from me, man. That's what it's all about when you're a kid at the clubhouse. Who has the best candy bars and ice cream? 3-1 on Willingham.
Sorry, Ryan. It's such, you don't always think about this, but there's such an uprooting going on. Obviously, these guys make a lot of money. They have all the resources that a lot of people wouldn't have to move around. But here they are playing in Oakland and then Houston. And then his family was leaving Minnesota because the kids had to go to school down in Alabama, came up for the weekend to pack up, and then they head back down there, and Josh moves on his way with the Royals.
1 for 3 tonight with that fly ball to center field. He had that 3-run double back in the 4th inning. How about this? This is a bit of a surprise. Christian Colon, 48% in our sprint question of the night. What recent offensive addition will have the largest impact down the stretch?
We didn't get a chance to exchange our views. There's a split finger. But I was going to choose Cologne as well with the fans.
Patty Bryson from Concordia, Missouri is our contestant in the Sonic Slam inning tonight. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Patty wins $3,600. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Patty wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Broken bat. And Moustakas is out. Thrown out by Escobar, who is positioned behind second base. 2 down.
Getting back to that question again. All of a sudden, Ned Yost's bench looks solid. There's contributors in all forms there. You got some power in Ibanez, at least the threat. Colon, who can play anywhere in the infield and get some hits up there. He's not just a guy going to go play some defense. Kratz, he's a power threat off the bench too. If Ned needs a quick home run, you just never know. You got Lorenzo Cain or Dyson in there, so you have speed. Guy can pinch run when you're down a run late in the game. Got to have somebody get into scoring position. Those are what a manager needs to fill out his bench, to be able to handle those things: power, speed, and a little bit of defense in there.
Dozier will throw out Escobar. So suddenly Nolasco is putting the pieces together after the 5-run 4th inning as he's retired the last 9. Royals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking. And for more information, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. At times, it seems like the weather moves in that quickly. It's going to warm up tomorrow and then cool off on Sunday. Going to get up close to 90 degrees tomorrow and muggy. Joe Mauer takes ball one. He's flied out to Gordon in left field twice. Three runs allowed. One of those runs unearned because of his error back in the third inning. 2-0 on Mauer.
But you know, periodically during the course of a season, you'll have innings and moments like that where the ball gets thrown around the diamond. But the fact that Aoki was backing up and Alex Gordon in left field was backing up because the throw to second base went over Escobar's head, had the guys in the right place to save an embarrassing inning. You don't see Royals defense throw the ball all over the place like that, but it happens.
I mean, they were perfectly lined up. You know, it wasn't like there was a guy in the area, so he was able to run over and cut the ball off. I mean, the overthrow, first overthrow went right to Aoki up the right field line. The second overthrow went right to Alex Gordon in shallow left field.
Yeah, but I've seen outfielders not even close to any of them balls.
Not even paying attention.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I better go run that ball down.
So they are paying attention to detail. We just showed you where Mauer's been being Joe Mauer. 15 straight games he's hit it. Got 15 RBIs in his last 17 games.
That fills out the count with Vargas next, followed by Plouffe.
A calm and composed Danny Duffy.
Hit well to left field. Alex to the track to make the play. So for the third time, Mauer has fly to Alex. One down in the sixth. Last year, the Royals went 15-4 against Minnesota, and then the Twins swept a three-game series here this year in April to kind of set the tone. The Royals have since rebounded. For whatever reason, this season series has brought out the worst in the Royals defense. 15 unearned runs in the first 12 games, and with tonight's, that's 16 unearned runs. But the Royals have evened the season series at 6 games apiece, and they lead tonight. Line to left. Alex will play it on a bounce. Kenny Vargas has his first hit. He's on with one out. Here's that play we were talking about, how not only were guys in the area, but they were perfectly backing up overthrows.
Okay, it's going to be a close play. Great bunt. With the throw, we've seen it. And also, we've seen that ball go down the right field line. But Aoki, just like you said, now Escobar did all he could, but look who's there on the third bounce. Alex Gordon blowing a bubble saying, I dare you to go home.
Well, Ned Yost going to get Danny Duffy. 78 pitches and a 2-run lead. So perhaps saving some bullets for later in the year with a mostly rested bullpen.
That has that message all over it. Duffy looks shocked.
I didn't even notice Aaron Crow was warming up. He's a Chevy call to the bullpen. I didn't even hear an announcement that the Royals had any activity in the bullpen. The bullpen is way out in left center field, and it doesn't really stand out. Somebody warming up isn't necessarily going to catch your attention. So Ned Yost came out, and Aaron Crow had been warming up, and now Dave Island and Danny Duffy and Ned Yost talk it over as Aaron Crow comes on. Now Trevor Plouffe in a 2-run game comes to the plate. He has doubled and scored against Duffy, and after him Kurt Suzuki has doubled and singled. So Ned Yost going for a fresh arm and a right-handed arm against Plouffe and Suzuki.
Now we saw Duffy down there in that dugout. Ned doing most of the talking. Managing is not easy. I know we all manage nightly, but when you're in the hot seat, you got some tough decisions to make. And I believe he was explaining to Danny, hey, look, you know what? I just want to get you out of there and give Crow a chance to get this right-hander out for you and save your arm a little bit. And then Duffy, I'm sure, didn't really want to hear that. But you accept it. The manager makes the move. You are subordinate and say, okay, boss, thanks for the explanation.
Now in Duffy's last 4 starts, he has gone, beginning with tonight, 5 1/3 innings, 6 2/3 innings, 5 innings, and 5 2/3 innings. And before that, almost every start was at least 6 innings for a long stretch. Plouffe swinging on 3-0, and he did not get his arms extended. Alex makes a play in deep left field. 2 down.
It's a good thing. I've tied it up. Three 3-0, looking for the fastball all the way. Had a little bit of a run to it on the inside part of the plate, and I think that's what did it. He had a little bit of movement. He wasn't able to square it up. Had a little bit of a tail.
Aaron was the winning pitcher yesterday. He finished off the top of the 7th inning, and the Royals scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th. Crow winning his 6th of the year. Jumps ahead of Kurt Suzuki 0-1.
Find a way to get this guy out. 2 for 2, double down the left field line, and a nice crisp base hit to right. Next at bat.
Seattle has beaten Detroit. Game just ended. 7-2 Mariners over the Tigers. The Royals have a chance to go up by a 1.5 games in the Central tonight. Rick Porcello got knocked around.
Steady as she goes. Kansas City, just take care of your own business.
Another base hit for Suzuki. He's 3 for 3. So 2 on with 2 out. And now left-hand hitting Arcia. He's got Bueno, Ned does, for a lefty-lefty matchup. So mixing and matching to get through the 6th inning.
He's managing
to hand it off to Herrera, Davis, and Holland.
Believe it, he's managing it his way until he gets to that 7th inning.
So Crow gets it out. He gives up a base hit. And another Chevy call to the bullpen. Bueno coming on to get the final out of the 6th inning. gets out number 2 and hoping that Francisco Bueno gets the final out. You can find great seats anytime, anywhere with the StubHub app. And with the StubHub app, you can pick Royals tickets, and you can scan your barcode right at the gate using only your mobile phone. There's no need to print from home, so get the StubHub app today. Two on, two out. Murcia pulls it foul. Bueno pitched yesterday. He got 2 outs in that 7th inning. Crow got the final out, and Crow ended up with the win. And Royals starters in the back end of the bullpen have been so good. Bueno hadn't pitched in 9 days before yesterday.
Man, a well-rested bullpen. Bueno in for this 1 out here. He's had only given up .213 average to left-handed batters.
He gets a ground ball. Billy lets it go. And Infante, Bueno got his foot on the bag.
Billy, he's pointing to himself now. Billy is saying, telling Infante, my bad, my bad.
3 pitchers get 3 outs in a scoreless bottom of the 6th. As we go to the 7th inning, Gerard Dyson has a triple on his 30th birthday. He's the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
Why not? Hit that ball to the wall and then haul. Yeah. 4th one of the year. Trust him.
Caleb Thielbar comes on for Minnesota. Royals got 5 runs against Nolasco. All of those runs in the 4th inning. Nolasco finished by retiring the last 9, but damage done. And now Thielbar with left-hand batters coming up, Dyson and Aoki, and then right-hand hitting Omar Infante.
So Nolasco probably didn't have the outing that he was hoping for, but he finished strong.
Dyson thought about bunting, and he takes inside for ball 1.
Nolasco retired his last 8 Royals. Thielbar.
And into center field, Dyson has a leadoff single. So 2 hits on his 30th birthday, and the Royals will try and add on, and we'll see how Dyson picks up the left-hander Thielbar.
Nolasco retired the last 9, not the last 8. Good job for him. Dyson off to the races. Thielbar, make it interesting. Left-handers, they have a pretty good move usually. 90 to 93 with his fastball. Curveball, occasional changeups. May not reach 93. Low 90s guy. And Minnesota's bullpen being taxed a lot this season. Starting pitching's had their issues. And so when you get to that pen every single night, this time of the year, which players call the dog days of August, it's noticeable.
So as we predicted, Ned mixing and matching in the bottom of the sixth, trying to get that baton with the lead to Herrera, Davis, and Holland. Dyson takes off, got a good break, and Suzuki had no chance. So that will go against Kurt Suzuki, but really that was a stolen base against Thielbar. Suzuki had no shot.
That's good practice for Suzuki. Dyson's able to slow himself down. Last year we saw him overslide second more than twice. This year I don't think we've seen it. But he's doing a nice job of sliding a little bit earlier and making sure that he uses his lower half to slow himself down. Aoki's been really good against lefties. .358 average. 306 with runners in scoring position.
Breaking ball evens the count at 2-2.
Aoki's production really up, especially driving in runs. He's got 28 RBIs now. He was down in the teens for the first half of the season.
Tough hop, but Escobar plays it up against his chest. So Aoki does not advance. Dyson's been a tough night for Aoki when it comes to advancing runners tonight. And now right-hand batters coming up, and Ron Gardenhire coming out. Omar Infante coming up. You can catch all of the second half on MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. And you can visit Royals.com for details. Jared Burton will inherit Dyson at second base as Thielbar came on to face Dyson and Aoki. And now the Royals have 3 right-hand batters coming up: Infante, Perez, and Butler.
Jared Burton, 88 to 92 with his hard fastball. Pretty good slider, changeup. Look up in the zone. You mentioned it, Rhino. Aoki's had a hard time tonight. Getting runners in from third. Right there, you want to try to pull him over, because when Infante comes up less than 2 outs at third base, that's an almost automatic lock. Infante, he gets him in. So he'll have to just find a lousy single somewhere.
He was 0 for 3 against Nolasco. 53 RBIs. Ties him with Alex Gordon. And that's just 2 RBIs shy of Infante's career high.
Dozier giving up a little ground over there at second base, opening up a lane to hit it in by holding Dyson close. See all this area right here, all this area, these are nice lanes for him to hit that ball in, especially with Dozier giving all that up.
Good slider, 0-1. Burton out of Western Carolina University. Does that ring a bell? No balls, 2 strikes.
Don't we have a closer? What, there, somewhere up there?
Is that your final answer?
I'm saying Holland.
Yes.
Go, go, go.
And it got through Suzuki, and it took a while for Dyson to see it, but he will go, go, go. And he's at third base with 1 out.
That ball just trickled underneath Suzuki. Hard to see it, though. Dyson hadn't started back to second. Maybe one pro hop back, and he's got the kind of speed. Heck, that'll work.
Infield back in for Minnesota. And Infante strikes out. It's been a big night for the Royals on offense. Can't argue with 5 runs, 8 hits, especially with their pitching. And yet there have been now 3 instances with a runner at third and 1 out, and that hitter did not get the runner in.
Picked a time, a really nice time. Burton did to throw that changeup. Pulled the string on him. Fooled him. Salvi looks like he wants to hit in the worst way. Now he's got a double already tonight. He struck out, and Nolasco got him swinging at some breaking balls up at the plate.
One and one. This is the 14th opportunity tonight for the Royals with a runner in scoring position, which is pretty remarkable when you consider there have been 3 1-2-3 innings. Suzuki blocks that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. They have come through 4 times with runners in scoring position, and all those back in the 4th inning. When the Twins were in Kansas City at the end of July, they went 7 for 32 with runners in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, as you look at Salvi's, the progression in his offensive career so far, he's always hit for a high average. The last few years he's hit 301, 292, but not a lot of power. So now he's starting to pick up the power. He's sacrificing a little bit for average, becoming a run producer.
Got the call, and again the Royals had a runner at third with less than 2 outs. Sal's just making sure that his pitcher will get that call later in the game.
Best selection of seats at Kauffman Stadium, including Crown Seats, Diamond Club, and the best dugout box seats to all Royals games. Ticketsforless.com is your trusted source for all Royals tickets. Tickets for Less is celebrating 10 years of local ownership. Located on 135th Street in southern Overland Park. Check out Ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets. And I'd say, Ryan, this place is filled up quite nicely here on a Friday night, and a lot of blue here as well.
Used to be the other way around. It was Minnesota fans before Target Field. We'd see them at Kauffman Stadium for weekend series, and now at this new ballpark, Royals fans making the trip north on I-35. Kane is in right, Dyson's in center, Kelvin Herrera on for the 7th inning. Escobar, number 8 hitter, Schaefer and Santana coming up.
We've seen Ned Yost do this with his 4 outfielders, especially if Lorenzo Cain hasn't started. He'll put him in late for defense. And you could see how Ned was managing tonight in the 6th inning, moving some pitchers in there. Took Duffy out, maybe some might think a little early, but I think he was a little nervous maybe about Plouffe, but they got through it. Get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th with Herrera, Davis, and Holland. That's been the formula.
Escobar singled leading off the 3rd inning, scored the first of 2 runs in that inning. Royals got all 5 in the 4th. Minnesota got 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the bottom of the 4th. 2 balls, 1 strike. Minnesota Twins the last 2 years have had an awful time with their starting pitching, and as a result they have been playing from behind a lot, and most of the time not coming back after falling behind. But they have had quite a bit of success this year scoring late. They have been outscored by, let's see, 57 runs this year in the first 6 innings, but they have outscored their opponent by 44 runs in innings 7 through 9. We'll see how they do against this bullpen, innings 7 through 9.
Herrera has 2 above average pitches. Fastball mid to 100. Changeup 88 to 91. Now his curveball, he'll float up there and roll up there once in a while. That's not, I don't think at this particular time is a great pitch for him, but he does throw it. It gives that hitter something else to look at besides those other 2.
Took a big swing and he missed. So Herrera begins with a strikeout. That's only the second strikeout tonight for Royals pitchers. I want to shorten up a little more on this pitch. What do you think?
You would think.
Get something started.
But you know, when you're a 8th or 9th batter in the American League and you have that arm like Herrera's got, you just power by it. That's the beauty of having strong arms at the back end of your pen. You can get away with a few more mistakes than a guy that doesn't throw as hard.
Now Schaefer is late on a fastball, 0-1. Jordan Schaefer 9 years ago was drafted in the 3rd round by the Braves. 3 years later, considered by many as their #1 prospect. A year after that, he hit a home run in his first major league at bat. Now, when Herrera's pitching and you foul off a bunt like that, Herrera provides all the power, and that bunt almost ended up in the second deck behind home plate. Usually see a guy foul a bunt away and pops it up, maybe over the screen, but usually back into the screen. That thing almost landed in the second deck.
Yeah, you know, you better stay on top of that if you have any chance at all.
One ball, 2 strikes. Schaefer has played in the big leagues with the Braves, the Astros, back to the Braves, and then claimed off of waivers by the Twins this year. He's a .223 career hitter who's hitting .270 since joining the Twins. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As we talked about early in the game, Minnesota has ramped up their running game this month, and Schaefer had 6 stolen bases in his first 8 games. Right to Moustakas. 2 down in the 7th inning. As we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game sent in by Ryan. Now, that's my name. Fizz has a daughter named Ryan, so it's hard to tell where Ryan is, but we thank Ryan. And remember, by using hashtag KC fan photo, you can have your photo shown during an upcoming broadcast, brought to you by AT&T.
There's that nice little rolling curveball. He came in from the outside, dropped it in there. Then some 99 on your hands. That's how you use that curveball effectively. You don't have to throw it a lot, but you show it one time, especially when you throw it for a strike. Get that hitter thinking.
It has been long established that the goal is to get the ball to Wade Davis in the 8th and Greg Holland in the 9th, but now that has been adjusted to getting the ball to Kelvin Herrera in the 7th, and here's why. The longest active scoreless streaks in the major leagues belong to the Royals' 7th and 8th inning relievers, and Herrera adds on to that. So he takes the baton. He'll pass it on to Wade Davis as Herrera gets the Twins 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts in the 7th.
El Toro.
For the 8th, but first, Panera takes us around the American League. Told you about it. Seattle moves past Detroit in the wild card. Corey Kluber on the hill, another great outing for him, all tied with Baltimore. Yankees shut out by Tampa Bay, and the White Sox blasting Toronto, so that has some wild card implications too. Let's go back to that game for our Mazda game break in Detroit. This time it's Kyle Seager punching one through, and so the Mariners getting the job done, helping the Royals out, helping themselves out, more importantly for them. And I have a feeling, Ryan, we'll be looking at these kind of matchups every single game. By the way, they've got an okay pitching matchup in Detroit tomorrow. Felix Hernandez and David Price.
Ooh. Seager's good. We've been talking about him for 2-3 years. 0-2 on Billy Butler. Billy has walked, singled, and scored, and grounded out to third. A little pressure on David Price tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
After that big trade, get the Tigers back on track. Launched to center field. That ball keeps carrying, and Santana makes the play right in front of the wall. Big ballpark, and the ball, especially at night, does not carry to deepest left center field or center field. But tonight it looked like it got a little extra push.
Good to see him lift that changeup. Changeup was really a good pitch for Burton. Struck out 2 Royals that last inning.
Slider at the knees for a strike. Alex has singled and scored a run tonight. He's also made out by lining out to first. And he has a 2-hit game. And that's 9 hits for the Royals tonight. 1 on, 1 out in the 8th. Royals scored 5 runs back in the 4th inning. The first 3 driven in by Josh Willingham in our Jeep drive of the game.
Some of you folks out there voted Willingham. 36% of you thought he might be the difference maker from the extra guys that have been helped out, brought in here from by Dayton Moore, and I'll tell you, that was a big hit. Just one of those per game from Willingham. That's all they need. Just one big hit out of him.
Alex started to go, looked like he had a pretty good jump, but hit the brakes. 1-1 on Willingham.
Look at Gordon talking with Rusty Kuntz. That's 1-2 steps. He was thinking about it.
And almost like he was telling Rusty, I should have kept going, shouldn't I?
Rusty spends a lot of time looking at video each day on the pitcher, and he gives those base runners one tip to look at, one part of the pitcher's body, mainly the starters, and just concentrate on that area so they can be able to get a good jump. Sometimes pitchers will have a tendency to rock back before they fire home. Sometimes they don't rock back. Their shoulders, their hips, the way they turn. And from Rusty studying those guys, he can pick things out that a pitcher does when he goes home and when he comes over to first. So a big help. And one of the reasons why the Royals are in first place as far as base steals go.
Willingham is built like a linebacker. And when he was first drafted, he was a shortstop. It was 14 years ago out of the University of North Alabama. And then the Marlins made him a catcher. It's a lot more like a catcher than he does a shortstop. He had some knee problems early in his minor league career because his body was not accustomed to catching. He was doing it in his early to mid-20s for the first time, so that was slowing down his career. And then the Marlins moved him to the outfield, and as he said before the game tonight, that saved his career. Felt like maybe he would have been a backup catcher at best. Alex runs again, and Mauer, foul ground, and he'll bring it down for out number 2. Now Mike Moustakas coming up. Burton got the Twins out of a runner at third and 1 out in the 7th inning. And now he gets 2 outs in the 8th. And Brian Dunsing comes on to face Mike Moustakas. Game, he stands at first, and taking the mound is his former college teammate at Nebraska, Brian Dunsing, who was born in Kansas and grew up in Omaha. And he comes on with 2 down to face Mike Moustakas.
Dunsing's got a nice ERA. He's got a good fastball too. He'll cut it. Got a slow curve and a good change.
Low to Moustakas, who's 1 for 3. He was on with an infield single in the 4th inning and scored one of the 5 runs.
Hit against the shift. He made Dozier come all the way over towards second base to see where Dozier is now. Moose just kind of rolled one right up the plate there and got him a base hit.
Just to remind his old buddy that he knows he's there. They were groomsmen in each other's weddings. It is well known that Alex growing up in Lincoln was a Royals fan. His younger brother Brett was named after George Brett. Dunsing grew up an Omaha Royals fan. Never went to Kauffman Stadium to see the Royals play. Said he went to Kauffman Stadium to see a concert, but growing up in Omaha, often attended games at old Rosenblatt Stadium. Alex dancing around to try and distract him, and Dunsing buries it to Moustakas, 2-2. And a base hit into right field. Moustakas has a 2-hit game. Ron Gardenhire was purely going with a lefty-lefty matchup there because Dunsing has not been good at all in the past against Moustakas. That was not a matchup set up on prior matchups. And now Dunsing will stay on to face Escobar.
A couple of more hits from Moose tonight. Keep that batting average over 200.
Escobar was part of that 5-run 4th inning. He had a 2-run triple. The first 6 reached in that inning against Nolasco. Perez doubled. Butler singled. Gordon was hit by a pitch. Willingham hit a 3-run double. Moustakas singled, and then Escobar hit a 2-run triple. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of Escobar's hits have been up the middle and strong. That triple was a frozen rope. Santana, the center fielder, didn't help Nolasco out any, but with a bad route. But that ball was spanked.
Shallow right field, and that's a base hit.
Yes.
Alex scores. Moustakas goes to 3rd, and the Royals are back out to a 3-run lead. Escobar comes through again with 2 outs.
Oh, he just lobbed a thing out there to right field off the end of the bat. Good hustle by Dozier, but no chance for any outs there. He'll take it.
That run is charged to Burton. And now Dunsing responsible for the 2 runners on for Dyson. Tripled with 1 out in the 3rd inning. And then singled and got his 27th stolen base in the 7th inning. No balls, 1 strike. That's into shallow center field and right to Santana. So the Royals now have a 3-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Alcides Escobar has driven in 3 tonight. Wade Davis has a little extra cushion. Baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Check out the huge selection of F-150s at thoroughbredford.com. It was odd flying in last night into Minneapolis, and we could see downtown, and there was no big white bubble to be seen. It's one thing that always stands out looking at the Minneapolis skyline, but the Metrodome went down this past winter, and now they're building the Minnesota Vikings' new stadium on top of that site. Wade Davis with a 3-run lead will get Dozier, and he jumps ahead, strike one, then Mauer, then Vargas.
That's that cutter. Hard fastballs, mid to upper 90s, cutter, overhand curve.
That says it all right there. All those other ERAs are impressive, and they're not even close to Davis. Easy pop up for Billy as he goes into foul ground. Dozier is 0 for 4. Davis had a play here when the Royals were in April, and he fielded a ball in front of the mound and went home to try and get a force out, and he threw wild, and the Twins started running wild, and that was really the only low point for Wade Davis, because after that point he took off, and the league ever since then is trying to figure out a way to hit him. And that was a long time ago. That was, what, 4 months ago. Almost exactly 4 months ago.
Tied for second among Major League Baseball relievers with 81 strikeouts. I think Betances has more, the Yankees reliever.
Alex dives, and it's in and out of his glove. They're going to call it a fair ball, and Alex didn't realize it. Boy, I'd like to see that again. Looked like he had dived over the line and made contact in foul ground. The Royals are looking at the phones, and Alex is looking into the dugout.
Yeah, it looked like it to me that he dove and made contact with the ball on the left side of the foul line, not in fair territory. Let's see it again. No.
Good call.
Yeah, excellent call.
So Mauer finally has something to show for, hitting it to left field. He had flied out to Alex 3 times before that, and that ties his career high. He had a 16-game hitting streak back in 2008.
And with that, just the second extra base hit against Wade Davis this year. Then it's been 2 Twins. Suzuki and Mauer are the only guys to hit an extra base hit off of Davis.
Kenny Vargas singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. The closer gets almost all the glory, and rightly so. If you were to compare a relay team to a bullpen, the closer is the anchor. He gets the baton. He's got nobody to pass it on to, so he has most of the pressure. But sometimes the 7th inning guy or the 8th inning guy has the more difficult inning as far as who he's facing. Thankfully, that foul ball hit the concrete roof for the Royals dugout and not somebody in the dugout or above the dugout.
James is ducking.
or got the netting in front of the dugout.
They all scattered.
Davis gets a strikeout. Sal checks the runner and gets Vargas at first, and now 2 down. Herrera got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, and now Davis will face the 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And if he gets the job done, then Holland will get the lower part of the order.
I tell you, those pitchers with their secondary pitches, the back end of the bullpen specifically, are so much more confident throwing their secondary pitches. Those pitches are very nasty. All of them. Herrera, Davis, and Holland. Their secondary pitches break down in the zone, and they're always bouncing them. But Salvi did such a great job on that last one. So it gives those guys confidence to throw it no matter what, because you have such a skilled catcher that can block balls like that. I mean, he turned that ball into a marshmallow easily and just picked it up and got the out. Believe me, look at that backhand there. There's a direct correlation to the success the pitchers have had, directing it to their quarterback back there, Salvador Perez.
Three 3-0 on Plouffe. Holland starting to stretch out. Late call, but a strike from David Rackley.
Look at Salvi back there studying that ball.
Three and two.
Jumping right back in the count after falling behind 3-0. Davis wants Plouffe. Doesn't want to mess with Suzuki, who's hot right now.
Still 3 and 2. One high fastball after another. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. A long chat to figure out what to do with Plouffe. 3 and 2. It's not been a good year offensively for Minnesota, but since August they've been one of the best in the league. We're just in the middle of the month, but the highest batting average, the second most runs per game, but they haven't gone anywhere because of their pitching. The pitching remains down around the bottom of the league in the important categories, but they've had a bit of a spike since the departure of Josh Willingham, which doesn't seem to make sense. But then again, as we were talking earlier tonight, the Royals have had a spike since Eric Hosmer went on the disabled list.
That's pretty incredible when you take a hitter of Hosmer's caliber out of that lineup. But it does make Hosmer feel much better going through this, watching his team win, than the other side would have been.
Right to Dyson in center field, who lost his footing. He is not going to replace his divot.
Waiter, check please. Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, they did it again. That's right. That frenzy hit and broke out in the fourth inning. The Royals, they are hard to contain. They feed off of each other. Seems like one base hit turns into another, and then another, and more runs cross. Giving Danny Duffy all he needed, and the back end of that bullpen to win.
So 1 inning away from taking a game-and-a-half lead over the Tigers. Royals have the top of the order against Ryan Presley, who's Minnesota's 5th pitcher tonight. Lorenzo Cain hits for the first time. And on his first swing, he singles into right field. Presley has pitched well in just 8 games and 11 innings. Coming over last year to the Twins in the Rule 5. Now Cain runs, and he'll get a stolen base standing up. Two stolen bases for the Royals tonight. Cain adds to his career high with 18. Dyson swiped his 27th back in the 7th inning. Two 2-0 on Infante.
The Royals pressure you. Ned Yost has a speedy ball club, and they're not afraid to go. Defenses know it.
Mauer again using his catching instincts as if he was blocking a pitch in the dirt. So the Twins get the out, but the Royals move the runner. Cain goes to third with 1 down, and now the 4th opportunity tonight with a runner at third and 1 out.
So Infante goes back to the dugout, getting high fives from his guys. So didn't get any hits tonight so far, Infante. But when you do one good thing like that, and it turns into a run, that's your positive you take out of it, personally. But the wins is all these guys care about. Infield in for Perez, and he pops it up.
Dozier makes the play. Sal is 1 for 5. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg here at Target Field in Minneapolis, with producer Joe Lavero, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. Billy singled and scored in the Royals' 5-run 4th inning.
You got a fastball like that, you're going to use it. Mid-90s challenge hitters. That's the one Lorenzo Cain jumped on. Infante hit that screaming Mimi over there to first base. So they're jumping on it.
On the ground. Well, it will go mostly overlooked tonight. 4 times tonight the Royals had a runner at third with less than 2 outs and didn't get him home. Overlooked because they have a 3-run lead and Greg Holland is coming into the game. Get the ball to Herrera in the 7th inning. He got the job done. Wade Davis in the 8th inning. And now Greg Holland with a 3-run lead in the 9th. Kelvin Herrera now has 18 1/3 scoreless innings. Wade Davis 19 2/3 scoreless innings. Davis has allowed 1 run in his last 43 innings. And now Greg Holland, who got his 36th save yesterday, to jump ahead of Fernando Rodney for most in the American League. He'll get the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the 9th, beginning with Kurt Suzuki, who is 3 for 3 tonight. Royals had a big inning, a 5-run 4th. They got a solid start from Danny Duffy, who gave up 3 runs in 5 1/3. Once again, the bullpen has done its job again. Tonight it will require 5 relievers. Crow and Bueno got outs in the 6th, and then Herrera in the 7th, Davis in the 8th.
Spread them all out. Herrera, Davis, Holland. Holland, he likes to put the ice on the opponents and win and save that game. 11 for 12 in saves in his career against the Twins.
And Suzuki is on for a 4th time tonight. Arcia is 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play in the 4th inning, which was big. Minnesota had 2 on, nobody out. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and ended up only getting the 1 run, and the double play was a big item. And now Hollins missed with 5 straight. One and one on Arcia. Two and one on Oswaldo Arcia.
Didn't miss by much there.
And now 2 and 2. Minnesota Twins have had very little success against Holland. They have gotten to him once. He has 11 saves in 12 opportunities, but a low ERA, and Minnesota hits 158 against Greg Holland. Still 2 and 2. Hit well to right center field. Dyson will play it off the wall. Now it hops over his glove. Suzuki will score from first. And now the ball got through 3 Royals. Butler, Holland, and Perez. Arcia goes to 3rd. And boy, we go right back to the top of the 8th inning. How big now was Escobar's 2-out single to make it a 3-run game as Minnesota has a run home, and without that run, the tying run is at 3rd with nobody out.
Better believe it. You get all you can get in this game of baseball. Even your closer, even Davis, Herrera, they're all human beings, and they're going to get hit. That ball just stayed in the yard, barely. If that ball had not bounced over Dyson's head, they would have held Suzuki.
Ball 1 to Escobar.
Holland falling behind these hitters.
So it's a double and an RBI for Arcia, and then he goes to 3rd on a throwing error by Kane. Error 9. 1 ball, 1 strike. Very shallow left field. Arcia is not tagging. Escobar is out, 1 down. So Jordan Schaefer scheduled to hit. He has very little power, and Ron Gardenhire seeing an opportunity here, hoping that Greg Holland will make a mistake to a power hitter, and he sends up Chris Parmelee. Schaefer was 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored.
0 for 4 in his career against Holland. 2 strikeouts. That ball's right over the middle of the plate.
And that got the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. The leadoff walk to Suzuki, which led to a run, is the only walk given up by a Royals pitcher tonight. Billy playing on the line. The run scores to make it 6-5, but now there are 2 outs. So Parmelee picks up an RBI to get Arcia home. So again, the clutch hitting of Alcides Escobar is the difference in the game.
Just win, baby. That's all. Just get the win. Santana slap hitter, and it's got a little bit of pop too.
He is 0 for 3 with a sac bunt tonight. At the moment, it is an unearned run, the second run, depending on what Santana does. 1 ball, 1 strike. Arcia went to third on the air by Kane, so he would not have scored on the ground ball by Parmelee. But if Santana gets a base hit here, then it turns into an earned run. And we bring that up because we were talking earlier, as Holland is 1 strike away. That's 17 unearned runs allowed by the Royals against the Minnesota Twins this year. And yet they're 1 strike away from taking the lead in the season series.
And that's all that matters. But for a strange reason here at Target Field, there's been more errors made than at the K against this team.
Santana strikes out. So Greg Holland gets the save. Alcides Escobar ends up with a big hit in the 8th inning. The Royals are 13 games above 500 for the first time since April of 2003. And with the Tigers losing tonight, the Royals have a game-and-a-half lead in the American League Central, a KCW.
Hammer time.